Greetings and grace, greetings and proverbial wisdom. Come on with it. I pray that you are just endowed with an amazing abundance of more wisdom as you think deeply and critically about committing adultery on your business. Woo! We're going to get into it. All right. Proverbs chapter 5. Also, please drop in the comments below who you are, what you do, so people can connect with you. All right. Warning against adultery. That is the title of it. Chapter 5. My son, pay attention to my wisdom. Turn your ear to my words of insight, that you may maintain discretion and your lips may preserve knowledge. For the lips of the adulterous woman drip honey, and her speech is smoother than oil. But in the end, she is bitter as gall, sharp as a double-edged sword. Her feet go down to death. Her steps lead straight to the grave. She gives no thought to the way of life. Her paths wander aimlessly, but she does not know it. Now then, my sons, listen to me. Do not turn aside from what I say. Keep to a path far from her. Do not go near the door of her house, lest you lose your honor to others and your dignity to one who is cruel. Lest strangers feast on your wealth and your toil enrich the house of another. At the end of your life, you will groan when your flesh and body are spent. You will say, "How I hated discipline! How my heart spurned correction! I would not obey my teachers or turn my ear to my instructors. And I was soon in serious trouble in the assembly of God's people. Drink water from your own cistern, running water from your own well. Should your springs overflow in the streets, your streams of water in the public squares, let them be yours alone, never to be shared with strangers. May your fountain be blessed, and may you rejoice in the wife of your youth, a loving doe, a graceful deer. May her breast satisfy you always. May you ever be intoxicated with her love. Why, my son, be intoxicated with another man's wife? Why embrace the bosom of a wayward woman? For your ways are in full view of the Lord, and he examines all your paths. The evil deeds of the wicked ensnare them. The cords of their sins hold them fast. For lack of discipline, they will die, led astray by their own great folly. All right, let's get on into it. Why are we talking about the proverbial adulterous way of life, avoiding proverbial adultery? Because yes, there is infidelity in the world. Please be careful. We will talk about that, but we're going to talk about business. Do not commit adultery on your vision. God has given you a purpose, and to align with somebody or anybody that can hinder that, right? Or to align to their values when God has already given you the values and the principles that you need for it, is committing adultery on your vision. You made a covenant with God, right? You got to stay focused. You got to stay faithful. Come on, right? All right, chapter 5, verse 3. For the lips of the adulterous woman drip honey, and her speech is smoother than oil. Got to be careful. You got to be careful. There's one of my favorite books. It's called Outwitting the Devil by Napoleon Hill. It was released after he passed away, but let me tell you something about this book. It's excellent. And I think it's a great one, especially if your children are in athletics, right? For an example, when men start to, get drafted, you see these flock of women that literally will go to them and they want their attention. They looking extra fly, and you got these guys, they're not thinking straight. They're not thinking straight, and they need that wise counsel, because there are women that literally will be predators. Yeah, gold diggers are predators. They're looking for money out of these men. They're not looking for, to take care of him. They're not looking for to preserving his legacy, because the moment something bad happens, where is that woman that he loved, that he fell in love with, that he would do anything for? She's no longer there, right? This can happen to men. This happens, by the way, and this can also happen to women. So you got to be careful who you are connecting yourself with. Just because she looks fly don't mean that she got it going on. People look banging, but they could be airheads. They could got nothing going on for themselves. They have no principles, no values. They don't even know what makes them happy. You got to be careful, right? Because that can make you miserable. You got to be careful. Please be careful. Check out that book. It's not for people if you're super duper religious. You may not like it, but it's an excellent book, because you got to understand how to outwit the devil, right? And sometimes the devil can look like a person. And we're not giving people, that amount of power, but you got to pay attention. People can be influenced by a whole lot of things, good and bad, right? The knowledge of good and evil, it exists. And if you're not being influenced by good, what are you being influenced by? Think about it. All right. Verses 7 and 8. Now then, my sons, listen to me. Do not turn aside from what I say. Keep to a path far from her. Do not go near the door of her house. Look, man, if you know what has tempted you in the past to fall in your weakness, reflect on it. 1, 2, ask yourself, is it worth it? Remember, we talked about counting the cost. Is it worth it to take that risk, play with fire? Prevent the fire. You prevent the fire by not going where you see there's a whole bunch of fires. Even what was that song? Can't Tell Me Nothing by Kanye West. How a man stay faithful in a room full of hoes. Look, man, you got to be careful. Hey, and just because we ain't talking everything's a hoe, some things can be a hoe. And, I'm metaphorically, think about it, right? If it's tempting and if this can actually hinder your brand, you got to be extra careful. Got to be extra careful because sometimes people, the connections and associations, man, look, them associations, you got to be careful, right? Even the court, they'll charge people because they're guilty by association. That's how powerful the sum total of the 5 people you hang around. Excuse me, I'm getting tongue tied. I'm getting tongue tied here. The sum total of the 5 people you hang around with matters. Who you associate yourself with matters, right? What's the group goal? What's the group principles, right? You don't want to risk it. Don't risk your vision, right? That's what I'm trying to say. And also, be careful when it comes to those relationships. I'm not a relationship coach. I know some amazing relationship coaches, and I have definitely experienced some failures in relationships. So I don't mind sharing some of those things because we have to think long term here, right? Your partner in life is your partner in life, and that partner affects everything. So we got to really think about these things, man. Look, take your time out here. If you're single, take your time. We can take our time out here. We can take our time. All right, y'all. Lifetime decisions. Remember that. All right. And in the chapter 5, verse 23, for lack of discipline, they will die, led astray by their own folly. Right. What is that scripture? People perish for lack of knowledge. Right. For lack of discipline, they will die, led astray by their own great folly. Hey, Siri, what does folly mean? A lack of good sense, foolishness, a foolish act, idea, or practice, a costly ornamental building with no practical purpose. Woo! Especially a tower or mock Gothic ruin built in a large garden or park, a theatrical revenue with glamorous female performers. All right. You don't want to be the type of person who is an ornamental building that costs a lot and it has no practical purpose. That's good. Because, man, that's deep. Okay. Because you got to think about this, man. Oh my God. If you aren't exercising in your purpose and you aren't exercising discipline, my God, there's no practical purpose. Practicality, right? Logic. You got to make sure that's incorporated. Discipline plus consistency equals success, right? When you don't feel like it, you're doing it anyway. That's what it's about. And oftentimes, even when you work out, if you don't like working out, when you get started, you're going to keep going. When you start a task, you're going to keep going. You're going to finish that task because it feels good to finish it. That's a word right there, y'all. That's a word right there. Even the what's that quote? And they said, Lord have mercy, what was that quote? They said a dangerous man is a man who can control his sexual discipline, right? Imagine if it's just not sexual, it's spiritual, it's mental, right? It's physical, it's emotional, like it's financial, all of these things, right? Comes down to management, And so I just want to encourage you, right? Do some self-reflection. Ask yourself, am I disciplined enough in these areas? If not, there's something that you don't know. There's something that you're not managing well, or you don't know how to manage it well. So be encouraged to seek out that mentors, right? Seek out that mentorship, seek out that wisdom. Look, case in point, I'll give you an example. myself. I realized I was making bad decisions, and I'm like, man, I'm not liking these outcomes. It seemed different. Maybe I'm missing something. Maybe there's a deeper root that I need to assess and become aware of, because I don't know. And I just stopped like everything. I'm like, you know what? Done making bad decisions. I need to learn how to make better decisions. I reached out to my mentors, and man, let me tell you something. I learned patience. I learned the value, and I enjoy patience. Oh my God. I enjoy patience so much. You guys, like, let me tell you something. The thing about patience is patience can save you. Patience can save you. Patience can save your life. Patience can save your purpose, right? We got to be careful jumping into stuff, especially if we don't know enough. We don't know enough. And we got to be careful. And in order to know enough, you got to observe. You got to check for proof, right? Social proof, right? You got to be careful. And as someone who has made that mistake, man, let me tell you, it's not worth it. You got to be careful. You got to be careful. That's why I take my time now. I ain't in a rush for nothing. I'm like, I got to seek prayer, because I know how I operate. I know my principles, and I know the bigger picture, the vision of what God has called me to do. And I have to be extra careful on how I, connect with people, how I associate with people, even how I communicate, right? And that's something I'm still working on. You know what I'm saying? Even what's his name? Kirk Franklin, when, they did the Marriage Be Hard with Mr. and Mrs. Kev on stage. So Kirk and his wife talked about it. He's like, man, we've been in this thing for a very long time, and we're still in therapy, and they're still having revelations. That's powerful. And that takes discipline to do, right? Consistency, that matters. That self-control, all of these things, it matters. And these are attributes of the successful. We want success. We got to master those things, because if we don't, it won't be sustainable. Who wants to be a one-hit wonder, right? We have legacies we're trying to preserve. We have legacies we're trying to create. We have things we're trying to fix within us to become better, so that we can pass on the right things and the right information, right? For sustainability. Even when it comes to wealth, I was like, dang, I got to learn some financial literacy. I got to learn it. And I'm like, man, yeah, I'm going to put my husband in charge of the finances, but I still need to learn some stuff myself. And that's important, because when you think about it, right, by the second generation, 70% of the wealth is gone, not 90% by the third generation. What does that tell you? There's a huge disconnect. And these things matter, and these things are important. And it's imperative that I like that, matter, important, imperative. I think I say important and imperative a lot, but correct me if I'm wrong. But yeah, these things are important. You want sustainability. You want a legacy. Yeah. So be encouraged. Seek that discipline out. Be mindful. Prevent going to the doors. Right. Prevent those things. And then what was the other one? Listen to what it is they're saying. Right. And then assess the character first. You got to be careful. Don't commit adultery on your vision. All right. So much love, and make sure you drop in your comments what your thoughts are. Ask any questions. Let's continue on with healthy dialogue. Let me know if you're watching this with the replay, #replay. Let me know of your thoughts. Thank you so much for tuning in, and know that I appreciate you. Make sure you go to pricelessfaithproductions.com, pricelessfaithwear.com for this amazing sweater. It feels good. I've had this for quite a few years, and it still looks good, baby. It still looks good. All right. Talk to y'all soon. God bless. Have a phenomenal day. Greetings. Secure your path in just 3 steps. I myself knew a piece of my purpose, but I lacked the depths of my vision. I knew that I would make an impact, but I did not feel significant because I didn't know how to achieve this and actually make money online. Now I exercise the confidence of my purpose, execute my strategies for more impact, and I feel more fulfilled, making money as a result, helping other educators do the same as me. Some have even left their 9-to-5. Specifically, this year, I want to help 1,000 people discover their purpose in depth, strategize their impact, and make money online organically with the right information and guidance straight, no chaser. Go to online.theetablueprint.com right now so that you can be confident in your purpose like me and no longer lost on your path. My name is Imani Allen, and I own Priceless Faith Productions, where your impact can become omnipresent. 10x, baby!